going to work. Zibanejad, they'll score. Off the draw, they get the puck out in front to Kreider. He drops it back, and Zibanejad, second of the period, makes it a 2-1 game.
Well, welcome to the Canes Corner podcast, live here on YouTube in the dusk of Sunday early evening, back here in studio screened-in porch, back here in, actually not Raleigh, North Carolina, Oxford, North Carolina. I am Adam Gold, and we are brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna's crew do a great job. So we thank you very much for spending some time. All right, let's get to it. There's a lot to unpack here from game one of 4-3 Rangers win. You heard the Mika Zibanejad power play goal. There was a Vincent Trochek power play goal. 23 seconds total of Rangers power play was all we needed to decide this one. And there are a number of things I want to talk about. And again, we're going to be here. We're going to get through it. And at the end of it, I will remind you of something I'm going to tell you right now. Today was one game. You got to win 4 to win a series. 2 years ago, Carolina won games 1 and 2 on home ice. It meant nothing. Still had to win 2 more games. Sorry, bad math. And Carolina didn't do it. The Rangers have 3 more games to win. And the way that game was being played today, Carolina had every opportunity to come back and win the game. Every opportunity. The Rangers presented that to Carolina. Hurricanes didn't want to take it today. They were, I think, as I broad brush this, I think Carolina was just a little bit tight. That's what I think. Because I think there was a lot of thinking going on today as opposed to just playing. And that is no way to play a playoff game. You got almost no shot to play a playoff game. I thought Carolina was spending too much time thinking about what they were supposed to be doing as opposed to just reacting and doing. As the game wore on and you had to be more desperate, I thought we saw more good pockets of Carolina's game. And that's probably why it was a 3-2 game. Probably why it was a 4-3 game. Yeah, we can explain the Jarvis goal to, well, you got 6 on 5. Okay, we can do that. But they also drew a penalty, and suddenly it's about to be 6 on 4, and then you get the penalty to Andrei Svechnikov, which was the right call. I had no problem with the call. If you have a problem with that call, then I got a problem with you. And we shouldn't have problems with each other. All right, so let's talk about what went wrong today. Started early, right? And why don't we just do this? Let's first go through the goals. The goals allowed, not the goals Carolina scored, because I think I speak for all of us when I'm not as concerned about the goals Carolina scored. That was a nice play by Jaccob Slavin just to get the puck through quickly. A fortunate bounce because it was deflected right off the shot by Alexis Lafreniere, deflected down off the ice, bounced over the shoulder of Shesterkin. The Necas goal was great. We'll play that for you later. The Jarvis goal was great. We'll play that for you later. But I think we're all more concerned about the goals they allowed. First one, Teuvo Teravainen. I'm not sure what you were doing there. Like, you were in position to defend Mika Zibanejad. I'm not sure why you went into the corner. You weren't really needed there. I think it was Dmitry Orlov was the defender on the play. He was there. Now, he didn't defend the pass, but you weren't going to get there to defend the pass. Just defend the man. Now, maybe because theoretically that's Jordan Staal's man at that point, but you were in position, and this happens all the time, all right, whether you're the center or not on that play, you can pretend you are. So Teravainen should have stayed with Zibanejad. He didn't. 1-0. Carolina got it right back. Then the Slavin goal. All right. Whew. We stunk for a second. We were on walkabout for a second, but now we're even. Now let's get back to playing. then the first power play, and we're going to separate the penalties from this conversation because I want to talk about that. First power play after the D'Angelo penalty, right off the faceoff, 2-on-1, Kreider, Zibanejad. I mean, he just a blind backhand pass right in his wheelhouse. Anderson had no chance. No chance. Good play. You got to get control of the puck. Remember, when Carolina's penalty kill is at its best, Jordan Staal wins that first draw, and the puck is sent down the ice. That didn't happen. All right, so that's the first power play goal. Second power play goal, once again, outnumbered in front of the net. Remember, we're talking about a total of 23 seconds. So the first one, I believe, was 8 seconds in. This one, 15 seconds in. Again, Zibanejad in front. Trochek cleans up the puck on top of the crease, and all of a sudden it's 3-1. And that happened late in the period. Just an absolute dagger. The amazing thing is, and again, we're going to separate the penalties from this conversation. I was just about to tweet, man, if Carolina can get out of this period 2-1, it will feel like stealing because it was not a good period for Carolina at all. And yet, they were in position to get out of it. And then the Kuznetsov penalty, and then the Trochek power play goal. Now it's 3-1, and you're really swimming upstream. But again, the second period I thought was a little bit better from Carolina. Not awesome. I think Carolina was not dangerous, but I think they had opportunities to be dangerous and just didn't take them. Remember, if you're using the possession websites for high danger, grade A, whatever you want to use, remember if you don't get a shot, if you don't take a shot, it doesn't count as a high danger chance. It just doesn't count as a high danger chance. So because of that, I thought Carolina lost a lot of high danger chances, because one of the things that stuck out to me in the second period was Carolina's hesitance to shoot, or when they were shooting, just holding on to the puck just a little bit too long. Jake Guentzel and Dmitry Orlov did this in a span of about 2 minutes. Like, you just got to let it go. I'd rather see that shot from a little bit further out, release quickly, than come in another 5 feet. What is that going to do? Shesterkin is world class. You got to be able to get it on net quickly, because then that gives you the best chance to get a rebound. Carolina was good around the net. Well, they certainly were late around the net. So that the second period, there wasn't a ton in it. Third period, it looked a lot different. It looked like a much better period. The Martinook to Necas pass was dynamite. Necas finished it. I thought Marty built a game. I thought Marty looked completely out of place in the first period. He wasn't alone. I didn't like Jake Guentzel's game in the first period. I didn't like Teuvo Teravainen's game in the first period. But I thought Necas got better as the game wore on. The goal just kind of confirmed it. But I thought he had some good moments in the game. Really good after, I thought, a dreadful first period. Unfortunately, the third line that I thought was going to be better was non-existent tonight. I didn't like Kuznetsov, Kotkaniemi, and Nason at all. I thought the third line, again, after some struggles early, I thought they really built and were pretty good the rest of the way. Obviously, we're going to need more from Aho's line, and we're going to need more from Staal's line. But Teravainen's got to be better on the other side. I wouldn't be surprised to see Staal and Martinook back together, but I don't think we're going to see that until Game 3 in Raleigh, where Rod can control the matchup and have them out against Kreider and Zibanejad. If you put Martinook and Staal together, they will never see Zibanejad and Kreider. Never see it. And Staal's line had Zibanejad, Kreider, and it was a Jack Roslovic. That was against Staal, Teravainen, and Jarvis. Unfortunately, they gave up the first goal. The Aho line had the Trochek line. I didn't think that line at 5-on-5 was awesome. I didn't think Trochek, Panarin, and who was it, Lafreniere at 5-on-5 was awesome. I didn't think so at all. It did get the one goal, but that was more on Freddie than it was on anything else. But what we want is we want to see more danger out of Aho, Svechnikov, and Guentzel. And I thought Jake, especially in the first period and a half, I thought Jake really struggled. So they're going to need more out of Jake Guentzel. And this is maybe a little concerning at this point because there's a reason you added Jake Guentzel. You added Jake Guentzel for goals. And Carolina's gotten, is it just the one empty net goal in now 6 playoff games? All right. So, and then, again, the fourth goal is the Panarin goal, and Freddie's got to have it. So, all right, let's break it down. Okay, let's break down the issues here. And the first issue is Carolina's special teams. You're number 2 on the power play in the league. You're number 1 on the penalty kill in the league. And what we saw today is more reminiscent of what got you knocked out of the playoffs in 22, in 21, and in 19. And to an extent in bubble hockey too, but it was really more reminiscent of what got you knocked out 22, 21, 19. A power play that was anemic, because I didn't think Carolina's power play was good tonight. I thought there was one really good sequence, but again, some opportunities that they didn't take because they either misplayed the puck, waited too long, or simply flat out whiffed on shots. And then the penalty kill, I mean, no, can't. You're not winning a game against the Rangers if it's that easy for them to score 2 goals. Just not going to win a game against the Rangers if it's that easy. So officially it's 0 for 5. Of course, the last power play, they had it for about 4 seconds until Svechnikov was whistled for the penalty. And the penalty kill, 2 for 2. I mean, nothing else to say beyond that, right? The Rangers' power play is great. Carolina's is supposed to be great. Saw the difference between the two. I thought Carolina was too cautious, even though this is probably the wrong word, a little scared. I thought they played a little bit scared on the power play today, like almost afraid, because the Rangers are good shorthanded, so is Carolina. But how would we know there was only 23 seconds of Rangers power play time? So I think Carolina just needs to relax and play, because I think today they were thinking. So the special teams battle was obviously a major loss, and we said going in, don't lose special teams, you'll probably be okay. Well, they lost special teams in the biggest possible way. Second part of the equation is don't lose goaltending. And you don't have to outplay Shesterkin. You just basically got to match him. And I don't think Freddie Anderson could do anything about the 3 goals that were allowed. I don't think he can do anything about the first goal or the second Zibanejad goal or the Trochek power play goal. I don't think he can do anything about those. But when you got it back to 3-2 early in the third, that game needed to be kept at 3-2. Keep it a one-shot hockey game. And that fourth goal, the Panarin goal, is one that I promise you, Freddie's like, I gotta have that one. Because at that point that was the save they needed to keep them in it. Because not that it wasn't a good scoring chance, because it was. And it is Panarin, one of the top offensive players on earth. But when you look at it, you go, yeah, he should have had the shot. Now, if he picks a corner, if he goes, right over your shoulder, nothing you can do about it. But that particular shot was stoppable, and he didn't stop it. So you lose special teams, you lose goaltending. How do you come back from that? Very hard. And they didn't. And yet they could have. Right? Even with the goal that Panarin scored, Jarvis scored 1:45 left. All right? So it was there to be had. Passing wasn't great tonight, but think about all the chances that there were. Necas and Svechnikov, who Andre probably played, this has nothing to do with the penalty. I would say Andre played his least effective game of the playoffs tonight. And I don't think he was alone, so there weren't a lot of guys who played great. I think there were one. I think one guy played at a super high level today, and we're getting used to it. I think, actually, maybe two. Jordan Staal, I thought, played a pretty good game. I thought Seth Jarvis was excellent again tonight. He has been so good in these playoffs. And again, I'm not put off. I still think Carolina has a ton to give in this series, and I think we're going to be here a long time. But I just thought Carolina had chances to get back in the game. Second period I talked about. Orlov, Guentzel, too slow to release shots. Opportunities, but you waited too long. Guentzel's shot was blocked. Orlov's shot was bothered from behind. Right? Dmitry is not the fastest guy in the world. He gets free, but he's not the fastest guy in the world. And that wasn't the time to wait. You just have to get shots through. Necas and Svechnikov both had good opportunities, blockered away by good saves by Shesterkin. How many chances did Jordan Staal have? One breakaway, one odd man rush from the right side. He had another opportunity in the third period. There were really good chances. And then on one of Carolina's power play opportunities, Jake Guentzel looked like, how do you pass up a shooting opportunity from just inside the left faceoff circle, probably just above the dot? I realize you're trying to make it easier on yourselves as a team, so you're trying to make the great pass that makes the goal easier, but you're giving up good shots to do it. And at that point, with Carolina having so few shots on net, and Rod Brindamore is right, it's not just shots on goal. Carolina's shot total on goal was too low through two periods, only 12. 6 in the first, 6 in the second. Shot attempts were high. So they're getting opportunities to shoot the puck. A lot of that is from distance and too many shots by, I'm not saying too many shots by defensemen, but too many of we need more from the forward group. That has to be that has to be better. Got to get shots from Aho, Svechnikov, Guentzel, Teravainen. I'll just throw Jarvis in here. Again, Necas in the first 30 minutes was just not right, not good enough. And Necas has to be the most dangerous player on that line. They just got to have more. Have to have more. The overall numbers for some of these players do look pretty good. I think Necas had a bunch of chances. Jordan Staal had a lot of chances tonight. So maybe it's Carolina not only not being able to take advantage of their chances, but maybe the wrong players have them. And if you're the Rangers, you're okay with Jordan Staal having a bunch of chances, right? But he's got to bury one. The breakaway, good glove save by Shesterkin. The odd man rush, good pad save by Shesterkin. And again, the Hurricanes hit a couple of posts tonight. Necas in tight early. Missed it. It caught the outside of the post, but still, you beat Shesterkin. These shots have to be on frame. And Carolina, unfortunately, probably misses the net a higher percentage than any other team in the league. Got to put some of these on goal. Just have to. All right, let me get to the penalties here. And I'm just going to read this. We'll start with the D'Angelo penalty. Actually, no, I want to start with the Trouba-Jarvis, or the Kreider-Trouba-Jarvis, because that'll lead us to the D'Angelo penalty. So pretty easy call to get Kreider for a board. Pretty easy call. So we knew that the Rangers would try to physically intimidate Carolina. We thought it would be Matt Rempe, who was a non-factor in the game tonight, an absolute non-factor in the game. And I was going to say this to Tripp in the pregame show. It's clear that I am more preoccupied with Matt Rempe than any of the players are. The bottom line is he's not that good a player. So, and he gets very little ice time. I'll pull up how much he had tonight. But I didn't see him on the ice a ton. Anyway, but you knew the Rangers were going to be super physical with Carolina because that's the rep. Because you can bully Carolina. And they went after Jarvis first. Kreider, that's a high hit from behind, is an easy boarding call. But what I don't get is Jarvis is not playing the puck. He's not facing the puck. The puck's probably, I don't know how many feet away, 5, 8 feet away, probably more than that. Maybe probably closer to 8 feet. And Trouba, as Jarvis is getting up, Trouba just drills him again. That's a penalty. If there's no penalty on Kreider, that's a penalty. Ignored. Okay, Carolina's going on the power play, so you can almost say, all right, that's fine. But that was a penalty. It's let go. I didn't think there was anything else to that play that needed to be discussed. Carolina's going to the power play. Power play wasn't good, unfortunately. And it's already 2-1. Carolina had already given up the power. No, they got that power play first, right? And then the Rangers go on the power play, and boom, right away. And the power play was the DeAngelo penalty. And I want to say this. I had zero problem, even though you could argue that it wasn't a penalty, that DeAngelo's hit was through the body, not to the head, 100% legal. Puck was right there. But here's what I liked about it. Because you knew the series was going to be physical. You knew you were going to have a response. All we needed to find out was who was it going to be. And it was DeAngelo. I thought the hit was good. For the life of me, I don't know how you get a trip on Martin Necas there. And they went and looked at it and went, yeah, that wasn't a trip. There's no trip there. And what I didn't understand was why they were trying to make it look like a trip, like it sounded like a trip. I know what they called it, but there was no trip. So they looked at it for a 5-minute major, and it's maybe it's good that they did. I don't know, because at least they got the penalty right. At least somebody who committed the penalty, because it was DeAngelo, not Necas. But I liked what Tony did. And for those of you who don't, I wonder how many of you think it's cool when somebody jumps in after a big hit to fight, to respond for somebody else getting hit. Because I see those as being similar. Now, I am not cool with the fight because a lot of things can happen in a fight that are not good, even if the idea behind it is sound. But I kind of dug the hit by Tony. Again, it's kind of clean. But the intent was for DeAngelo to say, we are not going to let you push us around. And Tony got 2 minutes for roughing. I say fair. Unfortunately, Carolina didn't kill off the penalty. Right? That's unfortunate. Carolina didn't kill off that power play. And because of that, the Hurricanes fell behind. That was the Zibanejad goal. The other penalties, as my dogs breeze in behind us, with Carolina on the power play, scrum in front of the net, all of a sudden the Rangers doing all sorts of Rangers things. getting overly physical. Andrei Svechnikov gets punched in the face. And all of a sudden, we got Trouba and Svechnikov going to the box. Andre did nothing. 0 to, I don't even, what are you giving a penalty for? We sent them both off for roughing. What are we doing? I'm cool if you just want to say, boys will be boys, and let's play on. But you took one of Carolina's best power play people off the power play. Like, come on. That was horrible officiating. Horrible officiating. And lest you think I am being a homer, for the life of me, other than he's Matt Rempe, why was Rempe sent off? Why did that happen? He did nothing. Staal kind of guided him into Anderson. There's nothing there. Play on, boys. Let's go. See, here's the thing about it, is that until further notice, extended power play time, either way, can play into the Rangers' hands. The Rangers don't mind a bunch of power plays. Whether the calls are good or not, they don't mind it. They'd rather be playing special teams than 5-on-5. Carolina's better than the Rangers at 5-on-5. They were during the course of the season, and hopefully over the course of the series, that will prove to be the case. Carolina's going to have to do more with their chances. And then finally, the Kuznetsov, Adam Fox deal. Like, I don't think there's a penalty one way or the other. You have two guys doing the same thing to each other. I think Fox dove. I think he embellished the call. And because they were both doing the exact same thing to each other. And ultimately, that ends up in the Trochek goal, and it's 3-1. So I didn't think it was a well-officiated first period. And I think you'll notice that the game kind of toned down after the first period. A lot of adrenaline, a lot of pent-up anxiety. But ultimately, I'm not blaming anything that happened today on referees or anything other than the Rangers won the moments. They were better when they had to be. And the result was just. It's just that simple. I'm also not in the business of looking big picture at we can't, they will, this is the way it's going to be. I don't believe that's the case at all. So I don't believe that the Rangers are going to dominate special teams for the duration of this series. I don't believe Carolina is not going to be able to score goals for the rest of this series. And I do believe that Carolina's best players will be better going forward. Now, two quick things. First is I don't think you're going to see significant line changes. You might see some tweaks, but I think you'll see Staal and Martinook stay apart because on the road, you don't want to lose the effectiveness of Martinook and Staal together because you want to have Staal against Zibanejad if you can. But who knows how, in-game adjustments will happen. And the other thing is I would not at all be surprised if Rod took a look at Pyotr Kochetkov. I just wouldn't be surprised. And here's the thing. And they talked about it going into Game 4, right? They talked about using Kochetkov in Game 4. I said on this podcast, and I said, I don't know how many other times, I would have used Kochetkov in Game 3 of the Islanders series. Simply because it was, I didn't think Freddie was really all that good in Game 2. It's a perfect opportunity to let Kochetkov play Game 3 and come right back with Anderson on a short turnaround in Game 4. But Rod didn't do that, and let Freddie play 3 and 4. They lost 4. It wasn't necessarily Freddie's fault, but then they won 5. And they've had all this time off. Tuesday to today. So Freddie was rested. But the 4-2 goal, while I'm not saying that, Freddie, you need to come out, I still think this is a freebie. Just remember, 2 years ago, Carolina won the first 2 games on home ice and lost the series. The same thing can happen. The Rangers can win these 2 games on home ice and lose the series. I know that you don't believe that that will happen because we are such prisoners of the moment. But I still think Game 2 is a bit of a free shot. And the truth of the matter is, Kochetkov played really well against the Rangers twice this year. Excellently against the Rangers twice. He was the goaltender in the win at Madison Square Garden, the 6-1 Hurricanes win at MSG. And the only goal that got past him in the third game, the rubber match of this 3-game series, was a deflection off the skate of Brady Skjei. That was it. Right before the end of the period, right at the end of a power play, I believe. Either that or it was just right at the end of the period. Adam Fox threw it at the net, caromed off Skjei skating in. That's it. So I got no problem, and I don't think Rod does or the team does, of giving Pyotr Kochetkov a start. Could be a good reset for Freddie. A little bit of a motivator for Freddie. But at the same time, Kochetkov is more than a capable goaltender. He also moves a little bit better than Freddie, although I'm not complaining about anything that Frederik Andersen has done. So I think that's something else for Rod Brind'Amour to consider going to game number 2. And by the way, the Hurricanes will practice Monday, but they will practice in Newark. So they're staying in Manhattan, playing at the Garden, and they're going to practice at the Prudential Center in Newark, home of the New Jersey Devils, tomorrow. And I will make this prediction: they will not skate before game 2 on Tuesday. All right. Special teams got to get better. Goaltending's got to get better. Hurricanes got to be quicker. Take your chances and don't hesitate. Don't overthink it. Play it. Just play the game. We are brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it's for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna and his crew do a great job. Check them out. Who's that? That's Earl. Say hi to Earl. Earl, say hi. Look at the camera. Never mind. We'll see everybody on Tuesday. We're here live. Rate us. Subscribe to it. Like it. All of that. And we'll see you Tuesday after the Canes take game 2 in this series. All right. I'm glad you all agree. I appreciate your time, and thanks to the folks at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, and we'll see you Tuesday.